Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Serpentine Path podcast. Here's a sneak peek of one of the exclusive extended episodes that I offer to the podcast subscribers over on the Patreon. The link is in the show notes if you would like to subscribe and enjoy. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Serpentine Path Patreon. I am a one-woman show over here, and I put a lot of time and energy and effort into all of my offerings. And so it really makes a big difference and a big impact to have your financial support with this project. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. And thank you to those who have already listened to the introductory episode, the first episode. It's really crazy because I have been wanting to birth this project into the world for years at this point, and there's just never been a right time for me to really get into the meat of it and to have the clarity of the vision for what it was that I wanted to create and share with the world. And so I'm really happy that I'm able to finally get it out to you guys and to see how it's going to evolve and transform and shift and grow as it moves away from me and out into the universe. So, thank you for being on this ride with me. I want to share a little bit more with you guys around different aspects of the inspiration behind the podcast. So, I'll start first with, why I decided on a podcast format for sharing my story. So, for a really, really long time, like years at this point, people have been telling me that I should write a book because I love to write and have been writing for a while now. And sometimes writing is like the perfect medium for what it is that I want to share. And so for a long time, people were like, Claire, you have to write a book about your life story. It's just pretty crazy. You need to write a book. I think it would really help a lot of people to hear a lot of things that you've gone through and how you've just taken life on. And so I've tried many times to write a book, so many times, actually, like 4 different times. First, it was a book of poems, then it was a book of essays, then I did this like interesting kind of fictionalized version of my life that was fun, and then I was like a memoir kind of autobiography style. And with all 4 of those different writing projects, I would get really deep into it and then I would just abandon it because it didn't feel aligned. And I was like, why can't I do it? And I was kind of getting frustrated with myself. I was like, come on, like, you have a story in there to be shared, as we all do. Everyone has a really important and valuable story to be shared. And I was like, come on, Claire, like, do it. Let's go. But writing, the medium of writing, just was not feeling aligned. And so I was thinking about this for years, honestly, about what the best way was going to be for me to share. And during this time, I was getting more and more into podcasts. I really love podcasts. And there's a lot of reason why I really love podcasts. One of which is because I can listen to a podcast while I'm doing other things. It's also kind of why I love audiobooks as well. I love to read, but audiobooks allow me to listen and podcasts allow me to listen while I'm doing things. So I can listen while I'm cooking, while I'm cleaning, while I'm beading and weaving, while I'm washing clothes, while I'm painting and drawing and doing other things where I'm multitasking. And so deeper and deeper I've gone into, just loving to receive stories in more of an auditory format. And also, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, if you guys were able to listen to that introductory episode, I also was thinking a lot about, honoring my ancestral way of storytelling, which is all of our ancestors' way of storytelling, regardless of what lineage we came from, which is that for the vast majority of human history, there were no books, and people did not know how to read, and people did not know how to write. And so the way in which stories were passed on and shared was through oral storytelling. And I was thinking a lot about my European lineage of bards. You know, who were the bards? They were the storytellers, and they were the song keepers and the singers and the musicians. And they were also the guardians of the cosmologies and mythologies of their lineages and of their traditions, and thinking about how stories continue on generation after generation after generation, and they change and they transform, but they have such a powerful and impactful influence on people, because that was not only their form of entertainment, but it was also their form of education. The way in which stories are told and the way in which they craft our world view. All right. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more, please feel free to subscribe to the Serpentine Path Patreon, which is linked in the show notes. On the Patreon, you can also find more of my musical offerings, inspiration behind all of my songs, written pieces that accompany many of the podcast episodes, health and educational resources and recommendations, and much, much more. Your support for this project means the world. Thank you so much.